Welcome, everybody. This is episode 4 of the Chalkn It Up podcast. Episode 4, presented by Legends of Six Gaming, obviously sponsored by Top Flight Threads, I Play Games, and Glitch Energy. Today we have a little different vibe of a podcast. Instead of a full house here, it's just 3 of us. It's myself, T-Pop is my name. We have Matt, Alpha Wolf, as some of you may know, and then we have our boy Dustin, aka Hopper, with his new microphone setup. So today, we just want to cover a few topics. Really, we want to cover a few things with the competitive side on our team. We're gonna cover some of the major 2 from the CDL, okay, to give you all an outline, and then we're gonna just touch on the content side of things also, as well as obviously at the end of every episode we have either a top 3, a top 5, something. Today's gonna be a top 5. I'm not gonna say what it is just yet, but it should be it should pack a punch. Should be a pretty good one. So
It's a good one.
yeah. So with that being said, I guess we'll kind of get a little bit right into the talk about the big news, elephant in the room, right? Legends of Six Gaming has paired for an event at least has paired up with FC Black, so FaZe Black, the under 18 team, for a LAN event in New York tomorrow, March 30th. We're all super excited for it. Grateful for the opportunity from FaZe Clan,
For
so
sure.
thank you guys. Yeah. Um, we're
And
starting
that's
pretty strong. We have the 1 seed to start with, guys. I don't know if y'all saw that,
we
but we
got
do
that
have the
one
1
seat
seed.
and a first round bye, which is great. So I'm not sure exactly what time the guys will be playing tomorrow. I'd assume probably late afternoon, late to mid afternoon, whenever that first round of winners takes place.
I would think so. Just to be, to make sure y'all are able to see it, follow us on Twitter at LO6Gaming. That's Twitter at LO6Gaming or X nowadays. I don't know. We'll be posting when the team, when the event starts, pretty much when we're gonna play, all that. So the easiest way to follow that tournament is to follow us, post notifications on. You know the drill. While you guys follow our channel, we are doing a Scuff controller giveaway. Scuff controller, big time controller in the industry. I'm sure everyone that's listening to this has heard of Scuff. So FaZe FC Black has been nice enough to partner with us to do a Scuff giveaway, and it's going to be a Scuff of your choice. Originally, it was going to be a FaZe Scuff. However, FaZe is just so popular and so high in demand that they're sold out. So it's going to be a custom controller
Yeah, and
of
that's saying a
whoever
lot.
wins
Out of
short.
all controllers on Scuff's website to be sold out, right? The FaZe Scuff is the one that is completely sold out. Can't get our hands on it at all. We tried. There was actual stuff sent back and forth trying to get more from the FaZe side. Unfortunately, that did not happen.
Yeah,
So
and keep in mind we're talking the FaZe directly, pretty much, or at least a branch of FaZe directly, and they can't even get it. So
yeah,
super in demand. Real quick, I just want to say, in order to be eligible for that giveaway, y'all, we're gonna need you to go to. We're gonna need you to follow us at LO6 Gaming. We're gonna need you to follow at FC Black Official, so at FaZe Clan Black Official. We're gonna need you to retweet their tweet on the controller giveaway. You can't miss it. It's a big post, and in the comment section, just tag your duo pretty much. So like for instance, if it was me entering, which I really should, if it was me entering, I would tag either Matt or Dustin here. Boom, follow, retweet the whole 9, and just cross my fingers, hope and pray I win the $250 controller.
Yeah,
So we
I
will
need it
be.
too.
Yeah, you do. We will be announcing that giveaway on March 31st, probably sometime in the mid afternoon. So try to get entered by tomorrow night at the latest to be in for the drawing. So
yeah.
yeah, man.
Most likely, we will try to go live for that announcement. Um, we like to do things in personal, make it fancy. So sure one of us, most likely, we will have Kills and or Sharma together, announcing that announcement live. Maybe a little TikTok live. Maybe we might throw that in there as a little funsies.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, that would be cool. I think, I said, I did say earlier that we are grateful for the opportunity here.
Yep.
Obviously, the FC Black under 18 team, they're they're a beast of a team. Wouldn't be surprised if all four of them find themselves in the pro league in the next year or
Yep.
two,
For
right?
sure.
So it is an honor to work with them, and it's an honor to work with the organization as a whole. I know, seeing that bracket today, seeing our logo next to a Phase logo,
It's
in
something, man.
collaboration
It's
with the
look.
Phase logo, it's cool.
And when you
It's
think
cool, man.
about being an organization and ourselves here at Legends that started, officially as of January, right? These big moves for us. This isn't going to stop. We're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep finding those people and making those connections. It's just who we
Yeah.
are. We want to give everybody the atmosphere and the ability to come into a group, come into an organization that appreciates you, appreciates them, and really allows you to be yourself and grow within that. And that's what we are, and that's why we are, doing things the way we're doing them, and that's why we're getting the looks we're getting. So, um, we're just a bunch of guys trying to make our little childhood dreams come true, baby. Look where we are now.
Yeah, and I do believe that. I guess we're kind of going on.
Oh, we got a little Tommy freeze.
Oh, am I
Just give me a
There he
frozen?
second.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you're
glitched
good
Here
now.
out,
I
You're
am.
buddy.
Here
good.
I
We're all
am.
good. We're all good.
My bad. It glitched out just like some glitch energy. Matt, hold it up. Hold up the glitch
All
We doing
energy.
day.
this? We doing this? Woo!
That glitch was sponsored by Glitch Energy. All right.
A glitch
Use
for a
code
glitch.
a glitch for a glitch. Use code LO6GG at checkout. But I want to touch on the FC Black thing again. Obviously our social media page, Twitter page has grown exponentially for us at least since that announcement. So
We are
I really.
still actively getting people
Hmm.
as we speak.
Yeah.
It's insane. Um,
So it's a cool feeling, but I do want to say I think we're doing it the right way as an organization for those that are listening. We're not doing wrong by people. We're not just trying to make things happen as fast as possible. We're trying to be in it for the long haul here.
Yep.
So
yeah, I mean,
we do appreciate.
damn, that's
Oh,
another glitch energy. Holy
Oh
shit!
man. Well, all the new supporters, the people that are being that are watching this for the first episode, we appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hopefully, you stick
100%.
around, kind of be on this journey with us, man, because we're new at this too. We've been
Yeah,
talking about it for a long time, right? We've been talking about making this organization since pretty much since COVID, but we finally decided to jump into it, and we're thankful for every supporter that we do get. So I just want to thank every new follower for coming over, man. Thank you. So,
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
appreciate it, much appreciated. As we stated earlier, this was and dude, we're here and it's just us. Let's have a little chat about it. Why not? So, LO6 was a pipe dream 4 or
Yeah.
5 years ago. It was
Yeah.
something that we had brought to the table with each other. It is something that we nitpicked until we could not nitpick it anymore. And it was something, like I said, it was when you're a kid growing up in this scene, and you see these big names, Optic, Phase, you got you know Cloud9, you got all these teams, right? And you're like, man, I wish I could do that one day. Well,
Yeah.
finally it got to the point where we were like, you know what, hey, let's see what we can do. Let's blow the can off this thing. And
100%.
remarkably, we've taken this to a whole different level than I know what we expected when we put pen to paper as of January. But we're happy with where things are going, and I know myself, Tom, Matt, we are all very thankful for each and every one
Yeah.
of you supporting, for each and every one of
Yeah.
you coming in, hanging out with us, kind of throwing your name in the hat. For those at the lands, for those on online leagues, getting to know our guys, getting to know us. We're here to stay, and we ain't going anywhere. We promise.
Yeah. And we're here to
That's a
win too.
fact.
We
That's
don't
a
like
fact.
losing. We don't like, we're not going to be putting out teams that are going to have embarrassing showings. We're going to try to build from whatever we start with. We're going to try to build on that. Lastly, speaking on this, I know you got our other co-owners, Ashton, Sharma, and Anit, and obviously they feel the exact same way as us. And I'm gonna extend the gratitude and the thank you out to those guys as well as us, right? Because
Yep.
it's a full team effort, and since they're not here today, I just want to say thank you guys as well, and we're
Love
just
you long
we're going up.
time.
We're going up, man. We're going up. So,
Yeah, we're
with
going up.
that being said, okay, that's the FC Black news. Awesome. Um, I'm gonna pivot to our OG team, our actual team, right? I'm gonna start with a small roster change. Okay, we have decided to drop down Storm out of the main roster, promote Q or sign Q uh, in replace of Storm. So the team is going to be Magic's Tier, Scrappy, and Q
Mm-hmm.
moving forward, and
And
that's probably
Scrappy's gonna have a little bit of a name change next time you see him live.
mm,
So Scrappy
yes.
has changed his name not to be confused with Scrap. And he is now Nevik or Kevin backwards because our little Swiss Miss crackhead can not come up with a name for himself. So we just had to kind of throw something out there for him.
Honestly, I kind of
I
like it.
like it. I think it's fun. I think it's different. Now, me calling him Scrappy every freaking day for the past 3 months has been definitely something that I'm gonna have to get used to calling him something else, which will never happen. He's always gonna be a Scrap to me.
That'd
I
be like
told
an
him he
OG
should have went
name.
with I told him he should have went with El Chaco or Swiss Miss to be fair, but um,
That would have been funny.
Swiss Miss
Honestly,
would have
Swiss
been
Miss would have been
El
cool.
great.
El
I think El
Chaco.
Chaco.
El
Yeah,
Chaco would have been hard, especially with him being
yeah,
like so little. Like,
that would have been
Rest in
sick.
peace, Choco Tacos. They should come back.
But
bro.
that's our roster moving forward.
Yep.
Um, and it would be our roster going into the Premier Circuit Major 2. However, um, we have been obviously speaking with the team. Magix is unable to attend the event, so right now, again, don't quote me because Sharma and Ashton are the two kind of major players in the competitive side. But from what I heard last, it's probably going to be Storm moving up, and taking Magic spot 4, Major 2,
Right. We
and
will be there in some form or fashion. And who knows? We might throw a little surprise in there. You might see something that you haven't seen from LO6 before.
yeah, there may be more to come. Obviously, we're not really at liberty to discuss anything that's not official just yet. But if you guys have been following us at all lately, especially lately, we got we got some
There's
some
some
big
tricks up
news.
these
Big
sleeves.
Yeah,
moves.
some big headlines.
Oh,
Coming
yeah.
out of LO6 camp. But no. So Major 2 is in San Antonio, Texas, right? Initially that wasn't the plan, but the venue did get moved and it is to San Antonio, which in my opinion is pretty cool. I mean, I've been to San Antonio once before. Pretty cool city.
The
Um,
Riverwalk.
the
Yeah.
Riverwalk. Yeah.
I like the
Cool
Riverwalk.
city.
Historical.
Now,
Where's
are
that,
you
Matt?
going, Tom?
It's
Are you going to
historical.
St. Anne or no?
No, not San Antonio,
Yeah, no,
unfortunately.
I will not be there either. I think Ashton is going to be there, of course, because it's his state. Sharma's going to be there.
Two
But
good representatives, so that's
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
nice.
having
so
both of them together, and stay tuned for that as well. We will be having live coverage from Ashton while on site there in San Antonio. So look forward to those vlogs
yeah,
as Major Two comes up. We will have someone live on the ground, and he is very very excited about it. So um,
yeah,
if you
yeah,
see a
man.
12-year-old walking around the San Antonio Major Two land, just tip your hat to him and say hello.
Yeah, so we in Major 1 in Denver, we placed actually, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Everyone doubted our team, right? Again,
Yeah.
our team, we weren't known well in the scene at the time, so people were writing us off from the beginning. The pre-shows, everything, they,
Oh yeah,
they,
the
they had no
questions were
idea.
who are these guys? Who's Legends of
Mhm.
Six?
So, and that was cool to play the underdog. However, we did place top 6 at that event, right?
Yes, we
We
did.
we had those expectations, but we exceeded
Yup.
the public's
We
expectation.
exceeded public expectation. We got eyes on us, and you know what? We developed a little rivalry. So look, hey Frigid, if you out there, come on, baby, we'll see you soon.
Oh man. So now we're calling out we're calling people out. But seriously though,
If you want that revenge, come and try it.
we we're gonna have to tag them in this now.
Oh,
Well,
fuck yeah, I'm gonna tag him in it.
what we're doing, we have to take a different approach here, guys, because Major One, we were the underdogs and no one knew. Major Two, a lot of these teams now are forced to take us seriously, right? We kind of go in with some expectation, like, hey, these guys aren't going to come in and embarrass themselves. These guys place top six at an event with like legit players. You know what I mean? So
100%.
I'm excited. I'm interested to see, you know, if we keep it rolling. Obviously, top six is the bar, but we want to obviously keep
Right,
going up and
yeah.
up and
We
up.
want to get in a position where we're competing for, top 3 at least. And
Yeah.
that's why the
Or the
roster
trophy.
changes happen. That's where shit
The
occurs, and
trophy.
our name's on that trophy. So that trophy needs
We
to
want to
come
win it.
home.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I remember watching every match pretty much that they streamed that we were on. And I
Mm-hmm.
would honestly agree with you. Even during the podcasters, they're like, "Who is this team? Like, where are they from? Yada yada yada, blah blah blah." And I think that actually came to an advantage,
Yeah.
which really helped us out because I
I
think
agree.
placing top six first LAN tournament that L6 was invited to, right? That we also helped sponsor, which was huge. Am I correct on that?
That's
Yeah.
correct, Matt.
100%, right? I just want to make sure. I think it was a huge advantage because everyone probably wasn't like, "Oh, we don't need to
Right.
worry about this team too much,"
Exactly.
And so
And
they were
now,
maybe. I'm not saying they weren't trying to play their best, but they're like, "Oh, we should be able to beat
right.
these guys," and we
And
just
now,
we just bulldozed
remember,
them.
we are sponsoring Major 2 as well. So we will be on that trophy yet again. As well as fielding the team there. I want to give a little bit of a shout out here from Major 1 to the guys over at AOG, Armor of God, Season, Spit-Ons. Shout out to those boys. Love the Spit-Ons.
Oh yeah.
Also want to give a big shout out to that boy Cheeto Wanga. Without Cheeto, none of this would be possible.
Yep.
So thank you guys for the positive feedback on the team, and not only that, but the support throughout Major One. Greatly appreciate you guys really having our backs there. And like I said, we played
I want to.
AOG in our day 3, I believe. They were in our main bracket.
Yep.
Those guys over at AOG, great group of guys. Much love to all of them. Thank you for the positive feedback and the support. Best of luck to you guys if you're coming to San Ann. Hope to see you there. Um, but yeah, man, we really garnered the respect of the community at Denver. We really garnered the recognition that we had been hoping for in building this team, and really just making it solidified that we are here to compete, we are here to win, and we are not a force to be reckoned with by any means.
No, we are a force to be reckoned with.
Oh
We
no.
are.
Oh well, look, tongue tied.
No, nail on the head there. Boom, you hit it. Again, shout out to Cheetah Wonga. Thank you very much for doing all you do in the community. Also, Cheetah, even he said it last episode when we had him on the pod. He said that even he didn't. He's like, dude, I didn't know anyone on your team. Like, I,
Yeah.
I was like, you guys might come in and embarrass yourselves. And obviously, thankfully, that didn't happen.
You're
Shouts out to
right.
the
Yeah.
boys. Shouts out to the team
Yep.
for showing up, man.
Yeah.
They put
But
up a good show. Good
but
show.
yeah, we'll have more with there's some time for Major Two, so there'll be some more news leading up to it. That's just kind of a little recap.
Yep.
Last thing I do want to touch on real quick is with Top Flight Threads, our clothing line being released to the general public. We're again kind of the same spot. We're working on it. We had a couple people order a bunch of samples. We're gonna make sure those check out. Everything's good quality wise. As soon as assuming everything's great there. Uh,
Which I'm
you
sure
know,
it will be.
Yep. Look,
we should have
yeah.
no issues.
Shout out to
But again, just
Corey and
making
the
sure.
team over at Top Flight for sure. Definitely a great opportunity for us to be able to work with those guys. And like Tom said, we're just waiting to get confirmation of how things look and how things fit. Before we shoot it out to the general public, right? We want to make sure we're putting our best foot forward when it comes to our merch.
Mm-hmm.
This is our stuff. This is representing Legends of Six, and we want to make sure that everything's what we expect to be legendary on our end. So stay tuned for that. That will be launching hopefully within the next few months, pending the
And
arrival of test product.
to get you guys excited about it, we have more than just jerseys, t-shirts. We have hats. We're gonna try to do golf shirts, jerseys. different styles, not just the major league sport style, but we're gonna try to do like hockey jersey style, basketball jersey style. We got fitted hats, baseball caps, beanies, sweat shorts, sweatpants, basketball shorts, workout attire.
Crew
So
necks
we're
for
going
you
down
old
the whole
guys.
list. Yep, we're going down the whole list.
Yeah, and
So
if anyone has, anyone watching this, feel free to add something that you may want to see clothing wise or apparel wise, right? We're all ears, right? We're an open book here. If there's something that y'all want to see and we think it's a great idea, we may implement that in our next run of clothing, right? So,
Yep.
we kind of want to make things. Certain things have to be seasonal, right? Like for instance, like beanies or big time hoodies or stuff like that. Like you're gonna get more of those in the wintertime, right? And t-shirts you'll
mhm.
probably get more in the summer, whatever. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean?
But expect
Um,
drops. The big thing with us being affiliated with Top Flight is we have the ability to do drops. So expect drops, and they will be limited run drops. We will start doing those eventually. So get your hands on that LO6 gear while you can, because it's going to go fast.
that's right. But the story's
100%.
coming, guys. We're just working out. We're dotting the i's, crossing the t's. Everything's looking fantastic. So that's our update. Stay tuned for more. Right. Um, Next up, topic wise here, Call of Duty League Major Two, Miami. Right. I just want to say I'm going to start it off by saying I think it was kind of what we expected in a sense, right? The top four teams were the top four teams.
Right. Yeah, they
And
presented
100%.
themselves
yeah,
as such.
and the bottom eight were just
Bottom
pretty
eight.
bad,
Yeah.
right? They're pretty bad.
Well,
There's a lot to
bad,
be
but like
said
there
about.
was a few teams that like put up a really good fight. I
Right.
mean,
There's a
you
lot to
pull up
be
some
said
of those
about
scores.
hosting your own major
I
and
mean,
being dog at
let me
your own
count them out real
major.
quick. One, two,
Well,
three,
I kind of want to start with you here, Matt,
four.
because Matt, for those that don't know, he will watch every match in the CDL, the tournaments or whatever.
Yeah.
Matt watches every little thing.
Religiously.
He knows what he's talking about here. So, Matt, I just want to ask you, man. Miami hosted this event. How do you feel about the team? How do you feel about Miami?
Okay, am I the best ranked multiplayer player there is? Absolutely not. But I'm gonna be honest, right? When you're going up against the best, I mean, you're talking about some of these guys have been playing Call of Duty professionally for the last 4 or 5 games. That Call of Duty. So I mean, we're talking like 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Miami's just got to do a roster change. They're not bad players, but they weren't connecting together. And that
Well,
was
what do
the
you
issue.
think they have to? Do you think they just need one different player? Do you think they need to redo the whole
Honestly,
team? What do you think?
let me pull up the roster real quick. Let me just double check so I don't get anyone's names wrong because
And
they
if I'm
all
not
played.
mistaken, Miami did drop. I think they dropped someone right after the event.
They did
Yeah,
drop Journey, I
They
thought,
dropped
right?
Journey, right?
yeah. It's just the thing about the Miami team is individually they're all pretty solid players. It was their team cohesion that didn't clash.
Mm.
Like from when they give you the listening, couldn't
Can
really understand them. They're
can you
speaking so
understand that
fast.
listening because it's in Spanish?
Yeah, but I mean, I speak a little bit of Spanish here and there. But
Congrats.
Proud of you.
it's yeah, it's just like the tone, right? It just seems like it's so hectic sometimes. Maybe it's because it's in Spanish. I don't know. I think Metals. I would say Metals was probably their number one player. So if anything, they need to keep one or two, bring two people on, see how they work together. Doesn't work out, keep changing it until they find that to
Well,
that
because
they find that
truthfully, when you
that
look at
blend.
Miami, right, there's only one guy on Miami that had CDL experience last year. Other than that, the last time those other guys were in CDL type play was BO4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is a long time ago.
Yeah, that's what
Movement's different,
four games
shooting's
ago.
different.
4 games
Yeah.
ago.
So I mean, did they
Sounds
do
about right.
bad?
Yeah.
Yes. Are they bad players? No. Do they need to get a new team so they can work together and do better? Yes. Because I'm gonna be honest, they are the newest team, one of the newest teams to the CDL, but there's no reason that you should be one of the first teams knocked out and you're hosting. That's a bad look on the whole organization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a
But like
good
I
look
said,
to drop your own major and you go like bottom
yeah.
eight in your own
Is
major.
that their
That's just
fault? Does
not.
it happen? Yeah, I mean it happens. But I mean, they just like they weren't playing as well as I think they thought they were going to, or anyone else thought they were going to. Because let's see here, Miami won.
I mean, if I'm being real honest, they didn't set the bar too high. I mean, they literally played
Yeah,
amazing
they
in online for Major One, and then come in and get absolutely smoked
yeah.
Major
I mean,
One, and then they played decent online in Major Two qual, and then they come into Major Two and get absolutely smoked. At what
100%. They
point,
beat.
as an ownership group, do you question your changes? I feel like immediately after you lose 2-3 matches in a row at Major Two,
Yeah,
your own freaking major, you're questioning right then and there. You're making moves.
because like from the start, let's say from March, right? February 24th was like I'm gonna go farthest thing back. They lost to the Thieves by 1 game. It happens. Happens all the time. They got 3-0 by New York. Then,
Makes sense.
which New York's like the one is the number one contender. Then they beat the Royal Ravens 3-1. That was good. They were playing strong that day. I remember that match. A lot of good call outs, a lot of good moves. They were pretty much dominating most of the match. Then they
Yeah.
3-0'd Miami. I mean, not Miami. They 3-0'd Minnesota. So everyone was like, okay, this team's about something. And then everything went downhill.
Well,
Got
I'll say
3-0'd by
this, Matt.
Texas, got 3-0'd by Royal Ravens, and then they got knocked out.
I will say this, right? 2 land events for Miami. Well, obviously one of them was a home series, but even if it wasn't, right? They're 0-12 in map counts. They haven't even won a map on land, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Metals, in my opinion, I think you're right. I think Metals is their best player, right?
100%.
But think about this. What other teams in the CDL would you realistically put Metals on? There's not many teams, right? So if he's your best player and you still wouldn't put him on the majority of CDL teams, what are
I
you
think he
doing
would.
at this
I
point?
think he would clash pretty well with Seattle.
I think you could
Seattle
play
isn't.
for Seattle right now.
I mean, that'd be great.
No,
You
but
know what
and
I'm
we'll
saying?
get into Seattle, by the way. But I just think at this point, this whole Miami vibe, this whole only Spanish team vibe, it's just not going to work. There's nothing
No,
they don't
because
they don't have enough talent. They're just not talented enough,
the
in
talent
my
pool is not
opinion.
there. And I think they stayed with, obviously a lot of those guys are from Spain, right? But at the same time, you are in a fucking mecca for Latino
For the
communities,
best players.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to start sourcing better. If that's the theme they're going to run with, if that's, the goal is to be the 100% Spanish speaking and, Spanish based team, vamos, you need to start looking outwards, because right now where you're at, you've seen it twice. You've gotten duped twice at LAN. You got
Hmm.
one more major coming up, and if you're going to go in with that same roster, you might as well just cut your losses and be done.
It would be a joke if
100%.
they're going to swap out obviously Journey. I'm assuming for Real because he's getting
Yeah.
his visa issues sorted out, right? So that's an upgrade, but I just again, man,
Look, when they were Florida Mutineers, they were better than when they are Miami Heretics. Hands down.
yeah,
When
100%.
Misfits Gaming owned that shit, 10 times better.
yeah, I think a full team change is in order. But again,
Yeah.
do I think it's going to happen? No. Should it happen? In my opinion, yes. But whatever. Miami is Miami.
But
Seattle, Seattle was
for
blown out
the
though, Matt.
The 305 does what the 305 does.
Yeah.
yeah,
Go. What was your
Miami
statement there,
is
Matt?
8th though right now.
Yeah, for a
Yeah. So
reason.
if the season ended today, they would be going to champs.
Yeah.
Miami would
It
be
was
going to champs, which is
crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
It's crazy to think
Wow.
that can happen when you choke on land so badly.
I'm just gonna say, what a free win that would be for whoever plays them in champs,
Yeah, no
right? Like,
shit.
come on, bro. I don't think they're gonna. If they keep doing this, obviously they won't. They're gonna drop down too far. But it's just wild that Miami's still in the 8 seed alone. I
Yeah,
do
that's
want
where
to
they
touch.
were. That's where they were going into the champs. They were number 8, and then they got duped. They got duped
So
bad.
again, it's just those top 4 teams that are just separating from the pack even more, right? It's just gonna be a battle for 5 through 8 for the playoffs, right?
Right.
That's all it's gonna be.
And we've
Your
seen
top 4.
this in franchising since, Major MLG was gone, and they stepped into this franchise model. Right by Major 2, your top 4 teams have solidified themselves, and they are breaking away slowly but surely. It's the same thing when you look at any other sports organization, right? your top teams are going to start separating about midway through the season, and we're midway through. And if you're not competing midway through, you need to cut your losses. You need to move on. You need to figure out a way to actually compete to maybe get into a better situation for champs. In the story.
I mean, if you don't, if you're a bottom 8 team and you're not considering making, making power moves right now, then are
Right.
you really even serious about making the playoff, making champs? Like, it's wide open, right? So any of those 5 through 12 teams, essentially, if they make the right moves, if they really kind of stack themselves properly, they'll coast into champs at least.
Yeah,
But I
and
don't
I
know,
mean,
man.
with so
We'll see.
many amazing players in the challengers setup,
Yeah.
there have to be opportunities there in Miami for those guys to get shots.
No,
Because
100%. But I
that's
mean,
where
it's
a
just
lot of these good players are coming out of, right? So obviously you're seeing new names every other week at this point, and obviously there's players like Crimp and Asim who we've seen in the Challengers series. We watched them take first in Challengers at Boston, but there's so many other great organizations. You got Lore, you got War. I mean, you got guys that are outstanding. I mean, take
and
fucking
there's
like
nothing wrong with dropping down, getting
no.
better, and coming back. Because honestly, like if you get dropped from one of these major teams
I
and you go
mean,
down to a challengers team and you just get better and you come back, people are be oh
look
shit,
at freaking
like they
Bance.
came back.
Bance was on
Yeah,
Toronto last year, drops down to Team War now, playing his out of his mind.
yeah. I mean,
Well,
it
you
happens.
want to hear my example for that is Kismet. Kismet
Yeah,
was
no
a
shit.
pro in I believe BO4. He went down to
The
Challengers,
bulldog,
had to suffer in Challengers for a while, and now he's a champion,
Yeah,
right?
and he's probably one of the sorry New York, but he's your strongest player.
oh
No,
yeah,
I
no,
no.
think so.
Hydra's the
Hydra
strongest
is the
player.
But
strongest
Kiz,
player.
I don't. I mean, yes, but I just Kismet was always
Look,
coming in clutch this last
if
majors
it
though.
was if
Always coming in clutch.
without Hydra, New York stood no chance against Optic. If they don't have
No,
Hydra, that's an easy 3-0 all day. Hydra
Hydra's
literally saved New York's
I
ass.
mean,
Hands down saved their ass.
Hydra could be the best player in the game. You could make an argument for it. You really could.
yeah. I mean, I'm not doubting he's on superstar status, but I'm just saying, Kismet, he held it down, and he
All right,
has been
Matt.
holding it
So
down.
so let me
Big
ask you
Kiz
a question.
does what Big Kiz needs to do, but
He's the
In
bulldog for a reason.
he
in
ain't the
Major
top
Two,
guy.
in Major Two, who do you think? Who impressed you the most? What player impressed you the most in Major Two?
Hydra.
That's
Oh
your
yeah.
answer.
That's my answer. Hands fucking down.
I'm gonna say it. Asim. He
Impressed
had
you the most, huh?
in every one of their matches, in every single game, because I watched every match. I watched
Okay.
every game. I was sick all weekend. I was like, you know what, this is what I'm doing on my weekend. And it was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
But literally, he came in clutch on search and destroy, our point control. Every match. There was one play that he did that either turned the tide or was about to turn the tide towards the win.
Right. And
Yeah.
there's a reason
And I
that
think
he came up from
that's what I'm saying.
FC Black into
Yeah,
Boston, right?
I think Boston probably
Shouts
made the
out FC
smartest
Black.
decision
Whoop.
grabbing him because he just came out and he was like I'm here to prove myself and he did.
I agree with that, Matt.
100%.
I agree.
I would say out of all the players, not saying that the superstars weren't good, like Hydra and Skies and Celium and all them guys, like they obviously they're playing what we kind of expect them to play. You know, like Asim just
Yeah.
came out. He was like, I'm gonna be better than what people expect me to be. And he
I'm
did
glad
it.
you said that, Matt, because
Because
my
like
pick.
literally, yeah, he did an interview after I think it was their first win of the first match of the finals weekend. And they're like, "Do you guys feel more comfortable playing together?" And he's like, "You know what? My team started to trust me, and once we can trust each other to play, and we play our game, then we win."
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure there was two matches in Search and Destroy where it was 1v3 and he came out on top both times because of his play style. He was like, I'm gonna go aggressive, and he just map control. He had map control. They had no
He's a
idea where he
smart
was.
player, dude. He's a smart player,
100%. He's
right?
his IQ is crazy on especially on terminal. Terminal, I think Terminal is his best map because he was flying around the map. He knew exactly where to go. He knew exactly where to be, and it's almost like he knew where the other guys were. He's like, well, this one player is going to be either here or here.
Yeah.
Check, got him. Next player, he's probably going to be here, here. You know, there was only a few times that I think he like didn't look in the right corner or the right. He looked down one lane instead of looking down another lane. But
Yeah,
I
but that
think he played off
happens.
his head.
That
I think he
happens.
played off his head.
I
So out of
do
the
want to
whole
say,
tournament,
Matt,
I'm impressed.
I do want to say I kind of took a similar approach on my pick. I do want to give a little bit of a shout out to this player here, and that is Assault. I think Assault normally, look, I'll be honest with y'all, man. I normally clown on Assault. I normally say he shouldn't be in the league. He's one of the worst ARs in the league. I'm on record saying that, right? And I'm sorry, Assault. By the way, I'm a trash player, but I talk a lot of shit about you sometimes, dude. He stepped up in a major way for LAG, and he was slaying with the best of them. And I was
Yeah,
like,
no,
dude,
I agree with you there.
Are we talking about LAG right now? Because LAG blew my
yeah, go ahead,
mind.
Matt. You
Here we
go
I've
go.
ahead.
been
Here we go.
waiting to
You
talk
go
about
in. You
this.
go in.
FaZe is one of the best teams the CDL has. Facts. But no one thought they were going to lose to LAG. What's her name? Alley Cat was like, if LAG wins, I'm going to dye my hair purple. And
Yeah, what
everyone's like, oh,
happened?
you
What
won't. You
happened,
probably
Matt?
won't have to do that. They destroyed them. It was amazing. Assault, Diamond Con, Estriel, Fame. They just were like, hey, we're not gonna be embarrassed right now. We're making it. And
Yeah.
boom, they killed it. So Assault played amazing.
Yeah.
Diamond Con had one of the most basic, I wouldn't say basic, but like I'm trying to remember how they describe it. It was such a this is what you have to do. Because he took out the guy down the alley. We're talking search and destroy on invasion. He took the guy down the alley next to ice cream.
Yep.
He slid, knew the dude was behind bulldozer, threw his flash, went to his pistol, knocked him out. The
That's right.
defuse bomb, I think he defused the bomb
Did-
with like 1 second left.
Did
It was
one
an
of you
amazing
just
play.
hit a like?
I
My-
did.
I
Here-
swear
here are
to
my
God,
hands,
I
dude.
just
Here are
saw
my
a thumb.
hands.
I saw a thumbs up appear on Matt's camera. Swear to God, it was like a thumbs
Matt-
up bubble.
Matt's thumbs upping himself right now. For his
Apparently,
I don't even know
was
how he
like,
did that.
"What is this?"
But LAG
Now, to touch
played
base
off
on
their
your
head.
LAG, right? The
Dude,
Tiny
they were
Terrors were not
amazing.
playing like the Tiny Terrors when they played LAG.
No, there could be factors, right? They could have been.
I'm not going to
testing
take
out
anything
different
away from it because a
strategies or
win's a
whatever.
win. But when you look at Abeezy and Simp normally playing, that LAG game was not Abeezy and Simp normally. Now you go on to Abeezy and Simp normally playing, and you get grand finals. Abeezy and Simp. That's normal.
Yeah. And
But-
congrats, by the way, to FaZe winning.
Yeah, big
winning the
shout
tournament.
outs there.
And they won it handedly.
The thing is though, FaZe, they were struggling. Everyone was like, "Oh man, FaZe! I never thought they would lose to LAG. I didn't think they were gonna be struggling against this much against the LA Thieves." All
They
this and
hustled
that.
us, Matt. They hustled
And
us.
Real hustle.
I think what you said earlier, Tom, was
Hustled
right.
their
Maybe
way
they
to
were
a
just trying
final.
out some new techniques, some new tactics, some new play styles, and
Yeah,
then they
why
were like,
not?
"Oh crap!" You know what I mean? Like we gotta step it up. And then they
Well,
just
because
came.
you got to
They
remember,
came to play. They came to win.
Cell is still getting used to playing a little bit different of a role with Draza being there now. Versus Cell was playing that main AR pretty consistently when Slasher was there. Now with Draza being there, Cell can kind of take a step back a little bit.
I think I said this on episode 1. Celium is probably by far, no, maybe not by far, but I think, in my opinion, he's one of the smartest players. His map
He's very
IQ,
good at playing his life.
is insane. He just knows where to be. He knows where to start shooting. He knows where to look. He's probably got to be one of the smartest map control players.
I will say,
Like-
I think FaZe kind of lives and dies by how Draza plays. Because when Draza wasn't playing well, they were losing.
Right.
When Draza comes in and sets the world on fire, no one's beating FaZe. Absolutely nobody, right? Because Simp, Abeezy, and Celium, they're the trio. You know what you expect. Like, you're going to get a good form of them at LAN no matter what.
Mhm.
So if that fourth could do what Draza did at the end of Major 2, I just don't see how they lose.
Yeah.
If you
And I don't
like that.
think I definitely think FaZe has found their guy in Draza. I think he truly fits the game plan very, very
Yeah.
well. And it's starting to show, right? You're starting to see more glimpse of greatness as the season goes on. Um, Especially out of Draza. I mean, the improvement that I saw from Major 1 to Major 2 is just a completely different Draza. Like, dude's flying
He
off
looks
the
great.
fucking hinges now, man.
He looks great, man.
And
He
when
I mean,
does.
you want to talk.
when you give him the opportunity to fly off the hinges like that, Tiny Tears and Cell can just do the absolute godlike effect on you, and then you're 3-0'd without even knowing it.
Yeah.
I mean, just talking about players that kind of played off their head. I think we have to talk about Pred. That
So
man,
OAG.
I
man
agree.
literally had multiple, countless gun wins that no one thought he was going to win, streaks that no one thought he was going to go on. And then there was a few games where he literally put the team on his back in control. He's knocking 4 people in a row to give his team time to get back to the point or to defend the point. He was just playing insane. And it wasn't like it was always at the end of the game, but every time it was close, it's like he just flipped a switch. And he just went, he's like, okay, going Super Saiyan. Like,
Yeah.
I'm winning.
To touch base on that too, look, that we're not saying that the grand final was anything short of amazing, because there were several opportunities there where I thought if Optic makes a little bit different of a play,
Yeah.
they're winning those games. They're winning those matches.
Yeah, it was closer than the map count.
Yeah, the map count says nothing about those games, because if you look at the control, that control was 10 seconds away from being flipped on its fucking head.
Yeah.
Yep.
There were minute differences, right, with Optic and FaZe, and obviously when you get to that level, those little differences, that was the major difference, right? But I will say this with Pred, he is always in the right spot. He's never not in the wrong place. He's always there. Whenever he needs to be laying down in a corner, he's in the right corner and he's already laying down. Whenever he has to rush the hard point from the right side and not wrap left or whatever, he's doing that, right? And I can't say that about pretty much 99.9% of the other players in the league. Pred just has this play style where it's like, dude, he just it's almost like he knows, like he has the wall hacks, like he knows where these players are. It's incredible.
If you look at the map count, right, for the grand finals, first game, FaZe beats Optic by 26 points.
Yep.
That's 1 point.
That's
Optic
one rotation away.
Optic takes out 2 of their players. They get on point. They win. You know what I'm saying? Next one, Optic wins 6-5. That was final match. Could have went either way, you know? Control, 2-3. Like you said, 10 more seconds for Optic, they would have won that one.
Well, because when you look at that control, right, to touch base on that control, that was a big one. Because when if Shotzi and I think it was Kenny or Dashy at the time, if they withhold on A right there and don't go down, they went down in a bad way. Because Shotzi had taken, I think, 2, maybe 3 with him. But if Dashy, I can't remember if it was Dashy or Kenny with him in A at the time, because I know 2 others were rotating.
I think it was Kenny.
I think it might have been Kenny. But if they stay alive right there, that's Optic's game.
Yep. And then next hard point, Skid Row, 250 to 227, Atlanta FaZe.
Again, one
point. Couple, maybe 1 or 2 kills. Optic takes that match.
And that was the series for me, by the way, because that's Optic's map. That Skid Row point is Optic's shit.
And then 6-4 in Rio Search and Destroy. Rio's a new map. I'm sure these guys have memorized it by like the back of their hand. But it always throws a different loop.
Rio is not what, I think maybe throwing Greece in there instead of Rio would have been a better option. But Rio,
I like Rio because it has 3 solid lanes.
Look,
it's like kind of an old school build.
Watch a series
I like Rio.
Magic is on Rio, and listen to that man bitch about Rio, and you will change your mind.
I personally love that map. I love Rio.
Not a fan.
I love Greece, but I love Rio. I think it's a great map.
I think there's just too many spots inside that building
I
that are just
personally, I think they should get rid of
not
high rise.
ideal. High rise
I'm
needs to
No,
go.
no,
I'm
hold on
so
a second.
tired of
No,
high
no,
rise.
time out. The first map that needs to go is Invasion. Invasion is horrible.
You don't like Invasion.
Invasion's
Well, if
the
they
worst
got rid of
control map of all time.
if they
It's just horrible, dude.
if they get rid of invasion, they're gonna swap it out for Greece because it's another large
No,
map.
they're not. They're swapping it out for either Departure or what's the other map, man? The two new maps that just came into play. Vista.
I can't.
Vista's gonna
Vista.
come
Oh
in.
yeah,
Vista's
Vista's
definitely
gonna
going to be
come
the
in.
control map that gets swapped out. And I will agree with Tom here. The invasion control is just stupid. You literally get
I,
put into a corner on B, and there's no way of breaking it unless you're running full 4. And even
If you
then,
see
your
a
odds of
team,
breaking it aren't that fucking great.
I mean
if you see
A.
a team
You mean
winning
A?
offense, the game's over because
Yeah,
it's a win. If you get one offensive round, you won.
I
yeah.
think, I think personally, you're right. But if they wanted to keep invasion, they have to bring that A control at a bus stop
I just think
because
they gotta
it's
bury that
that.
map. They gotta
I
put that
see
map
where they
under the
were
prison.
going with that with hard point because it's a solid hard point. But for control, like is it breakable? Absolutely. We've seen it been broken.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these guys are professionals, so they know exactly what they're doing. I think they need to bring it out. They need to put it somewhere else. I don't know if they want to go to the old P1 in Cafe, but then the points are too close. But
I don't
that's
know,
why I
bro.
don't like high rise.
I don't even think it's worth talking about Invasion. High rise is a different. High rise search and destroy you could keep because
Yeah, but high rise control's
that's
got to
fine. But
go.
High rise
Points are
control is
literally
bug.
the
the
control
points are
maps are
literally
tough.
one slide away from each other. There's a million angles you have to check.
And
And then
the wall banks
my
on A
biggest
are just nuts.
my
That's
biggest
the
pet
big problem.
peeve with B is top of the power plant. Because if you lay down in the right spot, like your name doesn't even pop up.
No, I agree with you.
It's like you're like invisible, and it's like, where is this
So what
guy?
would you do? Would you vote if you had to get rid of invasion control or high rise control? Are you getting rid of high rise control?
100%,
Yeah,
100%.
I'm getting rid
I'm
of high
picking
res.
invasion. I'm getting rid of invasion.
Honestly, to be completely
I
fair with
hate
you,
high rise.
I'm getting rid of Karachi control.
No,
Whoa,
the Karachi is one of
Karachi
my
control is
favorite
good.
maps.
Karachi control is good because you have every window in the diner, 3 doors. You know what I
The
mean?
jump up,
That's a good
the
map. That's a
jump
good
up
map.
on Karachi control is a headache and a fucking half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, there's so many different routes to get into
Yeah,
that control
I
point.
think you get rid of high rise control. You
But
keep high
invasion
rise
control
search.
sucks too because you literally have 2 entrances, and technically the only other place you can get somebody is if you shoot them through the window from like convoy. But that's just a shot in the dark.
Well, one
You
of
know
the
what I
two
mean?
are leaving, so my vote's invasion. Y'all have high rise. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
You
high
Yeah,
know.
rise control.
and I
I hope they
think
get rid of it.
mixing it up and bringing in Vista control is actually kind of smart because I don't know how often you've played Vista, but Vista control is very fun. It's fun to play. Vista as a
Yeah.
whole is fun to play. There's a lot of different routes you can take. It's still a 3-lane map technically, but there are a lot of fun little routes to play off of, and
I
I
agree. And
truly enjoy it. And Departures is not a bad map. I mean, you have your main lane, you have your 3 lanes again. We sticking with 3-lane maps.
I like those.
Your far right lane really isn't utilized as much as it can be. You're really focusing on your first 2 lanes for the most part of that map, but it's a fun map.
well, I want to say this, man, and I know it's just at this point it just won't happen because that ship has sailed. But if they would have removed, let's just say, invasion hardpoint and put in Greece hardpoint, I think it would have been better. I know
Yeah,
the pros they voted against it, right? And the only reason why Greece didn't make it was because of the water on the map. They don't want water in the
Yeah.
map,
yeah, and that's
right? Oh, I get it, I understand it, but
well
I think
because
y'all kind of cornered yourself
if you
because
remember
we're
in
playing invasion now instead of a map with a little bit of water on the edges.
yeah if
I
you
don't know.
remember MW2 and Hydro, right? Like that was the
Ugh,
big complaint. The water
my
Yeah,
wasn't
least favorite map.
because I mean, if you guys remember who was exploiting that fucking water like it's their job, Shotzi.
that's a Shotzi move,
That's
man.
a
He even
Shotzi
does it
move.
on he does it on sub base now.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you
Yeah.
give
Oh
him the
yeah.
opportunity to do it on Greece, and everybody knows what's gonna happen. So that's a
Yeah.
lot of the reason why that's getting downvoted is because there's certain players like Shotzi who are going to
And
exploit that water.
like Hydro, there's a lot of water in between the map as well. Like
There
Yep.
is mid water.
Hydro was a weird map. I didn't like that map.
Mm-mm.
It was fun, but
But
it
hey,
was
look,
yeah.
man,
The
it is
amount
what it
of
is.
f bombs that I've heard Tom drop on Hydro could fill up a fucking dictionary.
I'm like, dude,
Facts.
you rotate. You know what? We're not talking about MW2, but anyway, again, to recap, congrats, FaZe winning. Optic, good showing. New York, good showing. Toronto, solid showing. Top four, remain the top four. A little bit of roster
Agreed.
change news here, right? Miami, we already discussed Journey leaving. Seattle has dropped our cities, and the rumor is
Good.
it's not official. Don't quote me here, but the rumor is they may be
Good.
looking to replace Hook as well. So we'll have to watch that Seattle camp. Hopefully, by our next podcast episode, we see who gets put in that Seattle role, in that our city role in Seattle. We'll see. Another move, Awakening from Minnesota is being dropped. There's been links to a
Really?
couple players.
Yep.
Yeah, Awakening's gone. There's
I
been links
thought
to a
he was
couple
one that
players.
should have stayed, to be honest.
No, he's their weak link, dude. I think
Yeah.
he's their weak link. He
Yeah.
used to be like a top tier Slayer in the Call of Duty League. This year he's not
Yeah.
cutting it.
Yep.
So he's out. We'll see what Minnesota does. There's been a couple players on their radar, but I'm not going to say anything until it's official. And then lastly, and this might turn out to not be true, so I'm going to say it with that caveat. But our boy from FC Black, Zuma, linked. He leaked that Boston might be making a huge change. And I know Matt isn't happy about this one because it involves his boy Asim and Slasher potentially being dropped for Beans and Pentagram. I'll
Oh,
say
I
this.
like beans.
I don't think
I
I
like
don't think
beans.
this
Your
is
tummy
true. I don't
don't.
think it's going to happen. Mm-mm. I don't think it's going to happen. But I will say this. Somebody, and I know Pentagram does belong to the Boston organization, someone needs to give Pentagram a chance. He's been waiting as a backup, as a reserve player for 4 or 5 years now. Give the man a chance. He's good enough to play. So that would be my only like positive with that move. But in my opinion, no way you're dropping Slasher. He's the leader of
No.
that team.
No
And
way.
and why would you drop Ace when you just picked him up? Again,
And
it
like
could all
Matt
be
said, he
hearsay.
showed out. He showed
He
out.
did.
He played
He was the
well.
number one.
But
Number
they
one.
didn't have the results that they wanted,
Right.
obviously, right?
Yeah, but
So
like you can't get like, oh, okay, let's get rid of the newest player, but our best player. Like
no,
I honestly, out
Right.
of the Boston team, no offense, like I said, I'm not the best player, but Snoopy didn't play to the expectations of what
I
we
agree with
expected.
that, Matt. I
So
agree.
if
But
anyone
Yeah.
there's
needs to get
again, he's their hotshot young player. I don't think Boston should make any changes. I really don't think they are. I think it's just kind of hearsay, right? But again,
Right.
I just wanted to say it just for the reaction here, because if it does happen, you heard it here
first,
pretty early,
yeah,
right? So that's pretty much the recap for Major Two CDL. We'll see what happens for Major Three. Obviously, every podcast episode we're going to touch on the CDL, but a lot of exciting times right now in the middle of the season. A lot of exciting times.
Yep.
Content side,
Yeah, let's take a little
myself and Hopper,
switch
big
over
at this.
to our team here. Let's look at some of the upgrades and new announcements we got going on.
Yeah, so from the last podcast episode, we did add a new member, Dreamin. We want to welcome Dreamin to the squad.
Welcome, welcome.
We're waiting on a picture that he needs to send me, so that way we can make the official graphic.
Come
But
on, Dream.
listen, but he's on the team, man. Glad to have him here. He's friends with our other creator, Quacks, and they're going to be kind of the LO6 content duo in that respect, if you will. And you're going to see some more interactive things with the content team. I've been speaking to our other creator, El Capi Dan. He said, "Hey, I want to be more involved. How do you want to go about this?" And I said, "Hey, listen, like I want to have more interaction with everybody, right? We'll get the content creators and a couple of us together. We'll play. I want to have, spoiler alert, El Capitan did agree to be on an episode of the podcast. So in the
Yeah.
future, we will get him on the podcast, and y'all heard it here first. So besides that, we're still actively recruiting, right?
Yeah.
Right, Dustin? I mean,
To touch base on Cap for a second, for those of you who are watching Kick, our boy El Capitan was voted as the sexiest man on Kick. Shout out to El Cap. Dan, we love you, you sexy beast. Voted number
Just a
one,
good looking
sexiest
human.
man on Kick. Just a good looking
Just a
human.
good looking guy.
Look, it goes to
Love
show
it.
you can be old and still be attractive as hell.
That's right.
I know I am.
Hey, some people age
Like fine
like
wine.
wine. Yeah, some people age. I couldn't think of
This
it. I
motherfucker's
couldn't
over
think of
here
what I wanted to
flexing.
say.
Put them things away.
There you go.
Put them away.
No, but we do again. We want to welcome Dreamin'. We are actively recruiting. We
Yep,
we just with the FC Black announcement, we got a lot more eyes on us,
for
right? So
sure.
that can only help the
Which is good
content
though.
team,
Yep.
right? And if you're on a content team with us, every single time you go live, we want you to post that you are live. We will retweet it. We will post it on our
100%.
social medias. Get all those eyes on you. I'll just throw this out there real quick. A few days ago, Quacks had a stream. It had 40, pretty much 40 eyes on that post. We made our FC Black announcement. He went live that night. He had over 1,000. Right.
Yep.
So now is a good time. Get in early while you can. Right.
Yeah.
We are.
The more support us, the
And it's
more
not
we can
just Call of
support
Duty.
you.
No.
It's not just Call
We
of
want
Duty.
we want you to be everything, right? So it doesn't have to be COD. You can be a Rocket League streamer. You can stream World of Warcraft. Please, somebody come on board and be a WoW streamer. I would love you forever. That gives me something enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
It does not matter. Our goal is to promote you and for you to do the same. And we want people who are active. We want people who are engaged with their community. We want people who understand, like, hey, my goal is to network, and at the end of the day, if that
100%.
allots to some money, then great, but at least you're making friends along the way, and that's the biggest thing for us. Myself and Tom, we started off very small. Our ability to network, our ability to talk to people, that's got us into the position we are today as far as being owners of Legends of Six and really navigating this team to where it is. So we want to be able to take you from where you're at and see what we can do to make you grow. So by all means, feel free to reach out, shoot us a DM on Twitter, shoot us a DM on Twitch. We're all here. We're always here
YouTube,
to listen. YouTube, Twitch, anything you got,
Twitter,
shoot us a message. We
Yeah.
will be more than
Yeah.
happy to
join the
speak with you,
Discord.
see what we can do
You know,
about getting you onto the team and helping to take your platform to new levels. That's
100%.
our goal.
Yeah. I mean, bottom line here, while we are growing pretty exponentially, we did just start in January of this year, right? Really December of last year, but
Yep.
you get the point. We are still new, right? So we do want to help you guys out, and obviously we want you guys to help us out as well, and kind of just create that harmonized marriage, right? And just have a good relationship with our whole content team, and we're here pretty much all about the vibes, right? We just want good vibes in the content team, and we want some good people first and foremost. And if you fit the bill of just a good person that likes to play games, I mean, I don't see it as a bad fit at all, you know. But that's kind of my pitch, right? So that's pretty much it for the content side. Actively recruiting, welcome Dreaming, El Capitan, future podcast episode. You heard it here first. I did speak to him about that. So lastly, y'all know what we do, bro. Today's a top 5 list, okay? And today's a generalized list, and it could go a lot of different ways for us, right? So what it's going to be today is the top 5 video games of all time. We're not talking about shooters. We're not talking about our MMO or whatever. Any game since from Pong to Modern Warfare 3, anything you want to do is on the table.
It's
We're
so hard.
we're gonna
It's
start. Do you guys want to start with 1 through 5,
it's
1 through 5, or
so
5 through 1?
hard. It doesn't even matter because like my top 5 could all be top 1.
All
Like
right,
I'm
so
talking like
we'll do it loosely, but a 5 through 1. So
Five
we'll start
through
with you,
one.
Matt. Yeah, go ahead, Matt. Matt, what's your
I
5?
mean, so first of all, this challenge is way too hard. I've been playing video
I
games
gave you
since
I gave you a 24
1994.
hours, dude. I gave you
Yeah,
24 hours.
24 hours to go over
Yeah,
30 years of gaming.
I'd say
So I mean,
like
like
28.
within my top 5, 100%. I cannot. I would say the first game that I ever beat
Okay.
has to be on there, and that's
Okay.
The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
I think it's a game that everyone's played. Everyone knows about it. Ocarina of Time. Legend
I
of Zelda.
can't argue against Legend of Zelda
It's
Ocarina of
amazing.
Time. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, you got Hopper
Probably
bringing
gonna get an
something over
Ocarina right now.
here. Yeah, he might be, dude.
I'm
He might be.
something. Hang on.
And I just want to let you know, everyone that has great motor skills, y'all beat the Water Temple for sure.
All right, so I'm gonna go next, and in
Oh,
my
here we
number
go.
5 slot, I actually have it in my hands because it's very near and dear to my heart.
Okay.
On the Nintendo.
On the
Wow.
freaking Nintendo,
The
baby.
Nintendo.
Teenage Mutant
TMNT.
Ninja Turtles.
Let's go.
What a
I mean,
number 5.
honestly,
I have it on
five
the.
could
I
all
have
be-
it. So my goal for
My
these,
top
I have
five
about
could be,
20 of these, right?
before
And my goal is
PlayStation
to put
came
them
out.
into a wood table
Like a
and resin it,
Oh,
and have it as my desk at one point. So
I
stay
love
tuned
that.
for that. I got a bunch of these. Hang on, I got a stack.
Okay. All right. While he's doing that, my number 5. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit different than you guys. I'm going a little more modern, and that's gonna be the game that got me into shooters in general, and that's Halo 2.
Yes.
I'm going Halo 2.
Yes.
Man,
By
I
the
love
way,
that.
when are we playing Halo? Me and Mark have been doing it, but you've been not available for it. So
I'm not. I'll be honest.
Where
I'm
are
not a
you?
Halo. I'm not a Halo guy now.
where are
But
you? I was on my
Halo.
formal shit the other night, and you clearly missed it. It was live
Listen,
too.
the Halo 2 campaign was insane.
Yes.
For me, it brings in nostalgia of people coming over with. I literally had people come over with their own TVs and
Yeah.
systems,
Oh,
and we were
dude,
playing.
in-house
System Link.
LAN parties, dude.
Yeah.
That's Halo was it.
So that's my number 5, Halo 2.
Blood Gulch.
We'll do a snake draft here. So
Full on four.
I'll go again here for my number 4. My number 4 is the game that made me. I don't know how to word this, but made me a good, I guess, quote unquote, good Call of Duty player, at least worth a damn, and that is Advanced Warfare, my number 1 Call of Duty of all time. And that, since it's my number 1 COD of all time, and COD is, I guess, it's kind of what made us us. I'm
true.
gonna pay homage to it, put it in the 4. Advanced Warfare for me. I will get a lot of hate for that. Go ahead, Dustin. You're number 4.
All right, so I'm unfortunately I never like to agree, but my number 4 is going to be AW as well.
Wow.
AW for me was one of the Call of Duties that I truly felt I was fucking godlike. Let's be honest. Like, give me my ASM1 and I am on cloud 9, and I am going to sit here for freaking hours and just absolutely make you regret your decision of giving me that game back.
I'm a jetpacker, dude.
Oh yeah,
That's me.
all day.
But all right, so 2 AWs. Matt, I can almost guarantee it's not going to be 3 AWs.
It won't
There's
be
no
3
shot.
AWs.
I love Advanced Warfare. I love Call of Duty, but I mean, I'm a gamer, man. I love my solo games, man. Like, I love my story mode.
Single player guy.
I mean, going through the list. I mean, you got Mass Effect, you got Uncharted, you got the Assassin's Creed, you got
Metroid.
the Elder Scrolls, you got Metroid, you got Dead Space, you got freaking God of War. You know what I mean? Like, all these games. Like God of War 1, I remember playing that and I thought I was the God of War.
Yeah.
I gotta say we're on number 4.
Number 4.
Jesus.
Like the Final Fantasy games, like things I grew up Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
You gotta pick one here, Matt. Come on. One.
Number 4, hands down,
Hands down, number 4.
Uncharted, the first one.
Okay.
I love that. I love that play.
That's a good pick.
I've been
here for that.
Uncharted on every difficulty mode. I have every treasure found. I've beaten that game over a dozen times. I love it. I love history. I'm a huge history buff.
All right.
I was super pumped when they announced that the Indiana Jones game is going to be on all consoles now. I think that's a great idea. I think this console war thing's got to end.
Well,
I'm
what
so
is
pumped.
your
Uncharted.
number 3?
I like that. Yeah, go ahead, number 3, Matt. By the way, real quick before you do that, I like that you threw in the whole console war thing. just a little jab at everyone while you were in between 3 and 4. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead with number 3
Throwing
now.
shots.
Because honestly, as a PlayStation guy,
We're kind of
I've never really got to play Gears of War.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
I got the Red Rings
Halo.
of Death on my first Xbox 360 because I had over 200 hours in Forza 2. I was doing 24-hour races every weekend. I had every car. Forza was a great game.
All right, let's hear number 3, Matt. I need to hear it now.
Like I said, I'm a huge history buff.
Forza?
I'm Greek by nature and by heritage, so I'm gonna have to go Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay. Yeah.
For the record, I knew you were throwing an Assassin's Creed game. I just didn't
I
know
knew
which
at one point it was coming.
I thought he was gonna put Black Flag in. I thought it was gonna be Black Flag.
Look, Black Flag was great because if you remember, so
you see the tattoo,
when
tattoo.
Oh, that's sick.
When Black Flag came out and Halo 5 came out, right? That was when Skull Candy was really big. And I had both editions, the Black Flag and the Halo 5 editions of the Skull Candy Slayer headsets. And they were so freaking sick. I wish I still had them because I would totally still use them. They were amazing headsets. They were wired, but they were fun. And for those of you who know me, I will not fuck with a wire on my head. Don't know why. Not a big fan of it.
Yeah, don't worry. Black Flag's on my list. I just love mine.
All right,
it is.
Hopper, what about your number 3?
So my number 3 is gonna throw you off a little bit. My number 3, we're going back to Sega.
Wow. Okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Oh, okay. Now what separates Sonic the Hedgehog 2 from you?
So Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for me was one of those games where I was younger at the time. I would go to my grandfather's house. All we had was a Sega, right? This is like early 90s, like probably like 95, 96. But all I remember just sitting down with my older cousins and just beasting them at Sonic.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, who can beat my high score in the family? And still to this day, if you put that cartridge in, nobody's touched me.
All right. Bold statement. Well, I mean,
no one's touched him since.
Fair. I don't know. I got 2 kids to prove otherwise.
That's fair. You know what's funny? I've loved Sonic, but I didn't have a Sega. But I didn't have a Sega system. I had the Sega Game Gear.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty sure was like between that and the Game Boy they're the first 2 handheld systems.
Yeah. No.
And I'm telling you right now, for all you younger folks watching this, and I hope you keep tuning in and I kind of like just feed off our like
don't you date
love
us
for
here,
gaming.
I swear to God, if you make us feel old right now, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Okay. For anyone that's
man.
watching, that's not that old like we are. Did your handheld systems use AA batteries? Because I can tell you right now, the Game Gear took 16 AA batteries.
That was a chunky boy.
And it only lasted 3 days.
Yeah. Here's the thing, man.
Imagine that now, battery prices at what they are.
That's a whole fucking pack.
Yeah, it would cost you a paycheck to beat a game.
That's 2 packs of batteries.
That's true. You did age us pretty successfully. All right.
Good job, buddy. Proud of you.
I'll go with my number 3. I'll go with my number 3 here. And I think, well, first of all, growing up with Matt, he's going to understand why I put this in my top 5. He just has no idea what it is yet. And it is Mario Party 2.
Yes.
Yep, 100% knew it.
All day.
Shouts out to our other buddy Kyle. Shouts out to Kyle because we would go over Kyle's house. In high school, I think we pretty much lived in Kyle's basement. And we would play Mario Party 2 all night, literally all night, and just do whatever the hell we want to do, man. It was a great time.
Best mini games. Best mini games. Penguin racing, all that.
What is that number 2, Tommy?
Number 2 for me, and again, I thought we would be a lot different with our list, a lot more different, but I guess not. My number 2, and I wrote this down earlier, is Uncharted number 1.
Yeah.
Love that game.
It's a good game. It's a great game.
I need to do a shout out here. Shouts out to my Uncle Pete, because my Uncle Pete, he bought the PS3. He had a PS3 before me, and he introduced me to Uncharted. We went to GameStop together, didn't know what we were going to buy, randomly picked out Uncharted, and we played that thing for like a week straight, bro. What a good game, man.
And then I got Uncharted,
And then
which was
that
the
got
best
it.
part. Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
shout out to my number 2 Uncharted. We're gonna go ahead and go with Dustin. Your number 2. What do you
My
got?
number 2. Now, you have to remember, I owned the OG Xbox with the Duke in my very first game. And shout out to my
What about-
dad, because this motherfucker broke every controller I owned within the first year and a half of owning that Xbox. We went through about 27 of them because he couldn't beat me. Need for Speed Underground 2.
Oh, I forgot about the Need for Speed series.
What a pick! What a pick! I forgot about.
I
I
swear
completely
to God, my dad
Soundtrack?
would take the freaking controller,
Oh my
dude,
God.
and yeet it across the fucking living room so hard that
What
we
a
went
pick.
through
I forgot.
27 controllers in the first
How did I
6
forget
months
that?
of owning this console.
Dude,
That's
I can't believe I forgot about that.
To the
And
window.
you know, I knew
To
that
the
would happen.
wall.
I knew that would happen. People are gonna forget. People are gonna forget those games out.
There's nothing better than loading in and seeing that fucking R34 drive
Oh
across
my
the
God.
screen, and
Yeah.
that's all you hear. There was nothing
Drift.
better.
And then
What's
you'd have
Drift?
the dude. This might be a future list, the best video game soundtracks. But if it's a
Oh,
list, and it
you
will
know,
be,
Underground 2 is my
Dude,
number
Underground
one
2
all
number
day.
what a list! What a
But
soundtrack list,
the
dude.
thing
Riders
that
on the
sucks-
Storm with the doors.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It's literally going to be Need for Speed 2, and then it's going to be straight like FIFA, NHL, like all the ones with
Bruh.
actual like soundtracks.
No,
man. That's crazy.
NBA 2K21 had a killer soundtrack too.
But then the thing is, you can't even take away from some of the games that make their own music,
No.
like the
That's
Final
true.
Fantasy
That's-
games. Like people like
Halo, the Halo,
Halo. Oh, you know,
God, I
People
wish
still
we
be
were
singing that in
live
stereo.
to record
No, what a
this.
W pick! What a W pick by Dustin Underground 2.
I completely forgot.
Wait till you
What
hear
about-
my
alright,
you know what?
wait till you hear my number 1.
You guys know what else we forgot? So I would love to. So I'm gonna put.
Well, you don't
I'm
know.
a
You
caveat.
don't know if it's my number 1.
I'm a caveat, right? I'm a caveat. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey / Black Flag. Love the pirates. Love my Greek culture. 100%. So the Assassin's Creed games are all amazing. But there's one that just popped in the old noggin,
Okay.
and I mean, like, I think this is the game
Honorable mention, maybe.
that
We'll do
God,
an
most
honorable
of us
mention
think-
at the end. Save that. We'll save it for an honorable
Okay.
mention.
Yeah,
Well,
do
I
your
didn't
number
put it
2.
Do your number
Okay.
2, and then we'll do one
I'm
honorable
pointing
mention
at the
apiece.
screen like I'm talking to him.
Yeah, so I literally just pointed at him. Don't you worry. I
The
did the
thing
same
is,
thing. It's
though-
an old guy thing. We do it all the time. We're animated.
I'm gonna save it for my
Warner
honorable
Brothers.
mention. But thinking about it, it's my number 1 by
Okay.
hands down.
Well, say your number 2, and then we'll let you double dip your number 1, even though it'll be cheating. We'll let
Oh,
you get it.
true. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
kind
we'll,
of
we'll let you.
Number 2.
Should be in my top 5.
I forgot
Just
about
wanna let
Need
you
for
know that.
Speed, man. I played hours of Need for Speed.
Look, if
Golly,
they gave me
man.
ability to freaking cross-play that shit on
Golly.
PC, you would not get me off of it. I think
Oh
all
my
3
God.
of us,
Oh,
if they
yeah.
made that
If
multiplayer,
they could remake
we
that
would be
game,
grinding Need for Speed for.
if you could
fucking
remake
days.
that game,
I wouldn't have to buy another game.
No,
I
dude,
would
never-
make
look,
I would make
Never.
Matt buy a PC. We would go fund me a PC for that.
look, I will fund a fucking PC for that if they ever put under.
Let's
And look,
do
we
it.
may have to research that. If we can get Underground 2 on PC,
Oh my god,
imagine the live streams.
dude! I
All
don't
right,
know. If,
number 2,
I
man.
would never
Oh
like.
my God.
I would never.
I remember
Go ahead, Matt.
spending hours customizing like my decals.
Look,
Hours.
Yeah, and they
It was
were
like
all
Friday
ugly
night.
as shit,
It
too.
It was like Friday right after school, decals.
all right, real
Friday
quick to
night,
touch base on
racing.
decals.
But anyway,
Call of Duty kick rocks for taking away my ability to make boobies. Okay,
Yeah, that's
Kick
why
rocks.
they took it away. That's why
you
they
realize
took
I
it.
could be making a Pegasus logo
Activision.
for LO6
If
if you let me have that back, right?
you're watching, you need to bring back a few things: customizable decals and customizable clan tags.
Yeah,
The hours I put into
and Clan Wars.
making
Bring
my
that
own
back.
clan tags. Oh yeah, Clan Wars too. But now,
Maybe-
actually, you
maybe-
got
Maybe
you got-
fix
you got-
maybe
man.
fix her anti-cheat and stop banning people
Yeah,
that should
no
be banned.
joke.
Anyway, go ahead, Matt. Number
Anyway.
2.
So this just popped in my head too. I'm not gonna say which game because I think there's one that has all of them now. But Guitar Hero.
Okay, yeah, I like that pick. That's a solid.
It just
fucking
came
pick.
back. It just came back
That
in my
is a
head.
solid number 2. I'm gonna give you
First Guitar Hero I ever got was for the Xbox,
that. Yeah.
and it was Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah.
And I think I
Guitar
beat
Hero.
every song
Guitar Hero
on
was
the
always
hard
great,
mode.
right? Because like they always brought out the fun guitars. So you had
Yeah.
a Les Paul, you had an SG,
Yep.
and then
The
you had the
Gibson.
Axe, and then at one point there was a freaking Eddie Van Halen edition that I literally
Yep.
begged my mom at the
Aerosmith
store.
edition.
Now
The
remember,
Beatles Rock Band edition.
I don't
Man.
beg for much, but I
And
legit as a 10-year-old sat in the middle of the floor at GameStop until my mother bought me that Eddie Van Halen Guitar Hero guitar.
100%. Fun fact, it was like I can't remember what birthday it was, but it was the first birthday my mom was like, cool, you're growing up. She drops me off at the mall. She gives me my money. And I met Kyle Coons to go to the movies, and then we picked up Guitar Hero, went back to my house, and we nonstop played the game.
Oh, dude.
Shout out to
it's
Kyle
legendary.
again.
I want to
Shout out
thank
Kyle again.
Activision because per multiple sources, they're remaking Guitar Hero.
Yeah,
They're
you can
bringing it
actually
back.
play Guitar Hero in Fortnite right now.
Because right now, to buy a Guitar Hero is
Impossible.
a couple $100.
Yeah, it's tough. And you got
Rock
you know what you
Band's
got
like
to do.
$500.
You got to find it at like a flea market. That's the only way.
Yeah,
I
some
have,
some
so
old couple selling it, being like, I don't know what
between-
this is. Like, yeah, I'll give you
Between
$50 for
me,
it.
my wife, and my brother-in-law, we have every game console from the original Atari all the way up, complete with highlight games. So we have about 4 different Guitar Hero guitars.
You
Sitting
need
in our
to
storage.
make a wall.
Yeah.
Well,
of
see,
just-
that's the goal,
Hang
right?
'em
I have
up.
shelves that I'm gonna build that is gonna have every
Yeah.
console that we have.
And you need
sitting on the shelves behind me.
backlighting.
That'd be
You
sick.
need backlighting.
Look,
and
we
then you need
all know
the game.
that I am the
You need
king
all the-
of lighting. Okay, like
That's
the
true.
king of lighting.
Yeah,
You
but
got lights,
but
dude.
check this idea. In every row of systems, you need to get a neon sign of the system's logo going down.
That would be cool.
That'd be pretty deep. That might take some
Sega,
effort.
Nintendo,
What
PlayStation,
is-
Xbox.
Now I'm curious here because we're allowing Matt to double dip on his number one. Matt, what is your number one?
It's where wars were ended, feuds started, feuds ended.
Okay.
007 GoldenEye and 64.
Oh,
That's fucking
It's-
spicy.
it's the shooter.
Bravo.
It's the shooter. We all got into shooting games because of 007. You had 2 games on Friday nights with sleepover. Mario Party 2. Sorry, there's more than 2. Mario Party 2,
Yeah.
007 GoldenEye,
Yeah.
and either Mario Kart Racing or Diddy Kong Racing. It was and Super Smash. But I'm talking like N64. There was like 5 games you needed, and you had a party for the weekend every
I
weekend.
love it. I love it. Dustin, what's your
But
number one?
GoldenEye-
All right.
And everyone used to say it. Oh, we're playing GoldenEye. For one person, instantly, Objob is not allowed. You can't be him. Because you got the hat throw, knocks you out 1 kill, golden gun, you actually have to shoot down at him. I think it was the first time that was ever part of a game that they actually added height into the game. Oh, man. Objob
like
is
the pick.
banned.
I like the pick. I
So
love it.
my number one, and this is wholeheartedly my number one, and it serves a very special place in my heart because this is the very first game that my great grandmother ever bought me. Rest in peace. Pokemon Yellow on
Oh.
the original Game Boy Color.
Game Boy. Yeah. What color did you have? What Game Boy color did you have?
See-through purple, baby.
I had-
Yo, I was
you
saying
had
the same
see-through.
thing. I had
I had that same Game Boy color, like the actual color of it, all the way up until they stopped making the see-through. So I got
Me
I got the
too.
GBA in that same
Yep.
color, and then I got
the
the SP in that same color. And
It was
then
always
when
see-through
they
purple,
started
man.
making the
90s
DS,
all day,
I didn't
baby.
get it. If you look at my Switch controllers are actually see-through purple.
That was
Man,
that
you
was
guys
the
are
go-to.
goats, bro. You guys are
That was
goats.
the go-to.
I didn't. I
Pokemon
had
Yellow.
to do purple.
Originally, you know, obviously I had to go with Charmander. I was a big fire type guy. I built my team very specifically, and I took out that entire game in less than 2 days.
I'm gonna make a statement. Okay. Team Bulbasaur. Just saying.
Look,
That's funny. It's
you
ironic.
fight fire
I'm in
with
the
Vine
Navy.
Whip. I get it.
Squirtle. I used to always go with Squirtle.
You are a squirter. Don't
Oh,
you even
wow.
start. Anyway,
Well, we can think about it. Think about it. By the time you got to, the 8th badge on Cinnabar Island,
hmm
you didn't have a lot of opportunities to, like get a water type.
Yeah,
So
it's
Squirtle
true.
was
You ran out.
too.
No,
Yeah.
you're right. Actually, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like yeah, you could get Tentacool and but you had to put so much time in it. But by
Right.
the time you got to that, Squirtle's level 80. You're
Now,
just taking them all out. You know what I'm saying?
here
It
is
was
the
easy.
kicker, right? I was one of the first people in North America to have a shiny Gyarados.
Really?
Yep,
The red
Fun
one?
fact
the
here.
red
Shouts
one.
out to LO6.
The red one. And if you look at my Sword and Shield account,
I don't think I've ever
so
gotten
Sword
that.
and Shield introduced the dungeon where you could go in and your odds of shinies were a little lower, but they were there. I have every legendary in the game as a shiny.
Hmm.
I like my
That's
Pokemon games. Look, you may not have known
a
that.
lot of hours.
I am a
That's a lot of
big
hours.
Pokemon guy. I own every Pokemon game ever released,
That's a
including
lot of
Stadium,
hours.
Stadium 2, Rescue
You
Dungeon,
guys,
all of it.
you guys remember Pokemon Snap
Yep. I actually
with
so
the
here's a
picture
funny thing. So I
with the
actually
picture thing that had to come on the controller?
2 years ago, 2 years ago, I
Oh, Pokemon
actually
State.
was on an
Forgot
eBay
about that game.
auction
Oh my god.
for an original Pokemon Snap cabinet. So the
Really?
ones that you went into GameStop and they had it sitting there and you could play it. I literally was $50 away from winning
Ooh.
an OG Pokemon Snap cabinet.
Oh
And
my
I was
god. I
so
can't.
mad about it. Like
It's
literally
like
Bro,
all these games are just
Yo, you
yeah,
know
I
what's
was
going
so
through
crazy?
my
sad.
mind right now.
Dustin, you'd
It's
appreciate
just
this.
all
I can't
the
find it.
racing through.
I can't find it right now, but it's somewhere here. I have y'all may not remember this, but when we were all children, Burger King came out with a toy that was an actual Pokeball, shiny ass red Pokeball,
I
Yep.
had
and
it.
you clicked it open and it had the gold card.
I have all of them. They're in
Yeah,
they're in the
I
box
had
over here. They're literally in
I
a
got
box
it.
over here on my shelf. And
I had the
and
Mew and the Mewtwo. Yep.
I
and
have
the Lugia.
every single one of them, and I have doubles of about 3 of them. I was very big into collecting things. I actually have a stash of. Do you remember back in the day when Mountain Dew did the collaborate? Well, Pepsi Company did the collaboration for Episode 1 of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I have every single can.
That's impressive.
Oh yeah.
The guy's out here
1999.
just collecting shit, bro.
Oh,
Anyway,
dude,
let
I
me
collect
move
fun
on.
stuff.
I'm gonna move on to my number one. Just real quick, want to say that I was the only one here that didn't have the see-through Game Boy Color. I had the lime green Game Boy Color.
Okay, I can.
Yes.
I had the yellow one from Pokemon that had Bulbasaur, Pikachu, Charmander, and Squirtle on it as well.
Oh.
But OG Purple was by far my favorite.
Yeah, I got a lime green. I'm cool with the lime green. You don't see it every day. But anyway, my number one, and it goes from I've been playing this game for a long time, right? Recently haven't been, but playing this for a long time. I think it might be one of the most complete games of all time. One of the best companies made this game, and that's Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh yeah. Remember GTA San Andreas?
Hell yeah. The whole series is great, but from a complete standpoint, GTA 5 is like unbelievable. People are still playing it 10 years later.
So
Every
to
day.
touch base on that, I was actually there's a big reason why I will never play GTA with you
Oh,
guys.
actually.
And that reason is as a kid, my father would never allow me to play GTA.
Yeah.
Was not
I
allowed.
agree.
That was
I
not allowed in
understand.
my house. It was not allowed to be played on my console. So I never got into it like everybody else did. So like, I don't play it. Like I can never get into it. I can never like enjoy it because it's just not like something that I was ever into as a kid because I never, it was never a thing. I grew up in a very military strict household.
We're going to have to get you into GTA 6 when it comes out.
I just remembered what I had. Right.
Ah!
Oh!
What's in the back? Is that red?
It's Pokemon Red?
It is Pokemon
Yeah.
Red. Look at it. OG.
Yo, that's
And it
crazy. man.
that's my
has a
boy.
great back because I lost the back.
Oh, that's
That's
my
awesome.
boy. I'm proud of you
I
right
think-
now.
I think that's
That
the
might have
perfect-
made me prouder than you being a seaman.
Dude, that's the perfect way to send off that
Aviation.
right here, bro. That's the perfect
Dude,
way.
I forgot I
Perfect
had it.
send-off. That's awesome.
This has been
dude.
to 7 different countries, including its original country of Japan, on a USS.
That is awesome.
United States
So
Navy
I
carrier,
have
yeah.
a special edition.
You were gonna name drop the ship at first, weren't you?
He was.
I was.
He thought about it. I have a special edition
CD-70.
Japanese Game Boy Color from
Oh, those are rare.
from Japan that my cousin actually
are
brought
rare.
back when he was stationed with the Air Force in Japan, and it is literally still sealed, like it's never been opened.
Oh wow.
Fun fact, you can ask Tom, because I met him I think the year after I got this, my dad used to work. My dad worked for IBM back in the day, and
And they made
IBM and
all the chips for
Nintendo.
everything.
Yeah, Nintendo had a partnership, so I got to get a free GameCube, and I was one of the tester kids
That's
on the
awesome.
GameCube. So like our feedback was given to Nintendo, and I beat the original Luigi's Mansion
Yep.
in Japanese.
Tommy, did you
Before
hit your number one?
before it was even a thing. Yeah, Grand
Yeah, it
Theft
was
Auto
GTA
5.
Oh
5.
yeah. Okay, honorable mention time because I know Matt's got something up his sleeve. Go ahead.
No,
No,
it was
Matt already
GoldenEye.
he honorable
It
mentioned
was
every game
GoldenEye.
series of all
Oh,
time.
okay.
It was GoldenEye.
Hard facts.
But I mean, like that's the best part of this community, right? No matter what you grow up to be, right? You could be an athlete.
Seaman.
Uh, you could be in the military. You could be businessmen. You doctors, lawyers, blue collar workers. But I mean, gaming is just what a lot of us grew up on.
Yeah.
It's what a lot of kids are growing up on today, and like there's a lot of like research saying it's bad, it's good, good for motor skills, bad for social skills, like whatever. But like I remember growing up, Saturday nights, sleepovers, pizzas, N64, Xbox, Need for Speed 2, and
I swear to God,
honestly,
I'm
like
looking that up right now to see if we can get it on PC.
it's just for me, I miss being able to play with your friend next to you. Like a lot of games don't give you that option anymore,
Yeah.
except for your sports games and stuff. But I mean, Need for Speed 2, hours spent. Dynasty Warriors, another great series. I think I played Dynasty Warriors 2, 3, and 4. I beat it with every character, maxed out every character. You got your Final Fantasies, you got your Golden Suns, you got your Fire Emblems. I could go on all day. Assassin's Creed, I'm a huge history guy, so Assassin's Creed, Uncharted, Mass Effect was good. Not that it's history, but oh, God of War. I mean, it's just and that's the thing. There's a game for everybody.
I'm gonna throw a kicker at you, and you guys as PlayStation guys should really enjoy this. Spyro.
Oh, Spyro is sick.
Spyro.
Spyro,
What's
Crash
his name?
Bandicoot,
What about
Crash
Tomb Raider?
Bandicoot?
Tomb Raider?
Tomb Raider,
Oh, the Tomb Raider games were great. I completely forgot about those. I
Metal
just beat 'em.
Gear.
Metal Gear
going.
Solid,
Twisted Metal.
Twisted, yeah,
Twisted Metal.
2.
I used
Yes.
to play Twisted Metal on the PSP.
Yes.
Remember it was
Fun
what was it? It was like Spy Car or something,
Yeah.
where you just every
Good old
level
fucking
ended with you
Sweet
like
Tooth.
getting onto the truck.
Yeah. So my honorable mention. By the way, Underground 2 would probably be on my list. So if I'm taking that out of the equation, I'm gonna throw a curveball at you guys. A game that I had a great single player game at that I had a great time playing, and that is BioShock.
Yes. That's a
Oh.
good one.
Wolfenstein, Dead Space.
What
Man,
about you,
all these
Dustin?
games.
You got a
Honorable mention for me. Definitely not a hard one to come up with, but definitely one that's really gonna throw you off a little bit, and that is.
I'm gonna write something down real quick. I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is. Let me get my little pencil.
There's
real
no
quick.
way. No way Matt's getting this right.
No way.
No way.
There's no way Matt's getting this.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way Matt's getting this right.
Tetris.
Okay, go.
No shot. You wrote that.
Tetris. Look,
So close.
me and my
What did-
mom
wait, what
would
did Matt
sit
write?
there and compete with at Tetris for hours.
That's a great game. Tetris is a great game. I was in between BioShock. What is that?
Bejeweled.
Oh wow! You know you were kind of on the right.
You're on the right track there, but I'm thinking
Bejeweled, because I had it for the Game Gear.
No, I'm not gonna
I
lie
used
to
to
you.
fight the genie.
It's
I used to fight the genie.
It's a close second for me as far as honorable mentions with Pong. I could freaking sit there and play Pong against somebody for hours.
So I was in between. I was gonna put NHL Hits, the one where you turn on fire.
Oh my god!
I was thinking about that.
Hits. NFL Street, NBA Street.
Yeah. I was also thinking about like Super Mario 64.
Oh my god!
Those
With the stairs
types of
you could
games.
never get up until you were at the last level.
Super
Yeah.
Smash Bros.
Super
All
Smash.
of them. Super Smash Bros.
What's
Melee is
the
still
best
by
one?
my
Yeah,
favorite.
okay, Melee. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
my
The
favorite,
original,
for sure.
I love it, but Melee, like I remember, you just had to keep the GameCube on. For
No, I'm gonna throw
24
one
hours
at you
to get
too.
YouTube.
I'm gonna throw a fun one at you. FIFA Street was amazing.
I think
I don't think I ever played
FIFA
FIFA
games are
Street.
just great in general.
But
Oh,
FIFA's
yeah.
great. I
Is
mean,
that
I'm
what we're
playing
doing after this? Are we
FC24 right
getting
now. Yes.
into FC
Yeah.
after this?
Yeah, we're
Yes,
gonna play FC.
100%.
All right,
We'll
bet.
play FC.
But because like James Bond, one of my favorite movie series of all time.
Octopussy.
I'm not gonna get into it because I could talk about it all day.
I could say the word
But
octopussy.
you
over
guys
and
remember
over
the
and still get
PlayStation
entertainment.
2 007 Nightfire?
Yes.
You're a 007 guy.
Dude, the Nightfire game was awesome. The
I'm
story
gonna throw
was
a fun
great.
one at you too here, Tom. You ready? So,
Yeah.
as a kid who grew up with a grandfather who loved to go to the bar, Golden Tee.
Golden Tee.
You remember the
golf
old
game?
cabinet game? It was the old golf game. You
Yeah.
had the little
Oh,
white
yeah.
ball on the track, and
Yeah,
you
have
just
to- yeah.
slide that shit.
You know what I fucking
fucking
forgot?
Golden Tee, dude.
Yo, remember? So the first time I played it was arcade.
Yeah.
The movie theater had it too. Gauntlet.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Gauntlet. I remember when they came
And you
out
know
with
what?
Gauntlet
You
for
know
the,
what?
for the GameCube.
We need to stop talking about this because arcade games should be its own category.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
that's a next
it-
podcast.
oh,
Yeah,
Write
we'll
that down.
do
That's gonna be
arcade
the next
games. We'll do
podcast.
arcade games. But listen, let's end this on a high note. All right, so I just want to thank everyone for listening. We went off the rails in the top 5, but we had solid top 5. Drop your top 5 down in the comment section. We really want to see. We
Please.
want to interact with y'all about it. Again, much more coming from Legends of Six as a whole, as an organization. Stay tuned for the announcements, man. Follow the Twitter or the X account.
Support us and we can support you.
Exactly, man. We're here for the community.
Right. And
More
in
to
support of
come.
this
Kingdom.
weekend, we're gonna double up
Mhm.
here, and we're gonna see. We're
Okay.
really gonna see. We're gonna double up because we're not just legends this weekend. We're gonna throw our phase up. We're gonna throw our L's up. We're gonna do them both this week. We're gonna throw them both
We're
up this
phasing up.
weekend. We're gonna
We're
phase
phasing
up,
up.
and we're gonna throw the L's up. All right. Y'all have a lovely rest of your weekend. We hope to see you on the next one. Until then, this is Hopper, our boy Tommy, our boy Matt, signing off. Enjoy your evening.
Peace out, y'all.